Hello, my name is Kenny and I'm the author of the LAMBS danger.fsm mod for Arma3. Or I should say, soon to be one of the many authors for this mod. In this video I will be showcasing the AI's immediate reaction to contact, some of the waypoints in action, and also how the mod easily interfaces with some of the well-known mods out there. Seen in this video will be ACE3 by the ACE mod team, RHS, Hellenma made by Tempa, beautiful terrain, Suppression and Immerse mods by Laxmann and Joko, and some custom mods for just reskins used internally in LAMBS. They're actually available in the GitHub if you're interested in those. The setup for this scenario is a helicopter has been shot down by an AA threat. The pilots are on the ground right here, and there's trouble afoot as infantry forces are moving in from the north. The object is simply to escape, and the task will be for the player to act as a sort of delaying force while his buddy here tries to make his way south. Talking about waypoints and features. So some of the interesting waypoints added in the danger.fsm is the hunt waypoint, and that's being exploited right here. As a hunting force, starting out with a simple task hunt waypoint, they've been set to, here is the script of course, they've been set to a large completion radius, 2,000 meters, as we can see here, which bubbles them around quite nicely. And he has some co-hunting forces which will flank out on the sides and again perform the task hunting action. This is a simple move waypoint and then the task hunt waypoint here, which triggers. Notably, the task hunt waypoint will trigger immediately on the move waypoint being completed. So the actual location of this is merely an indication of where the center for that script will be read from. So that's something to keep in mind if you make scenarios like this. What else? There's some debug information, just tracking units on the field, and actually I will be running with the setting switched on for danger.fsm just to get some feedback as I'm playing with this. This will soon be handled by CBA parameters, which will be more easy to set, but you'll still be able to do so manually, like I've done here. Additionally to that, the latest version 1.4 added some group variables you can set, and here is one such example. We can see I've set the set variable to danger formation line. This means that the moment this unit enters contact, they will adopt a line formation. They could have done anything like that. It could have been anything. And on the side formations here, I've done something else. It's a bit finicky in the init field here. I might paste the code elsewhere. You can see I've done danger code, and within this I've wrapped a piece of code which will essentially spawn a yellow flare 200 meters above that unit whenever, or on the first time that they enter combat, and actually react to the combat, I should say. Beyond that, fairly traditional scenario. I would be playing through this once just to sort of show you the moving parts, perhaps show you an additional viewpoint depending on how long this video runs. I've chosen not to make myself invulnerable, which isn't perhaps the best of ideas for a showcase video like that, but well, it makes it more exciting for me, I guess, and we'll see if that turns out well. So with that said, I guess we're ready to go into it. Oh, well, you can never fight anywhere nice in Arma, of course, so let's make it a bit more dark and somber. And yeah, here we go. My buddy here. Bit of a crash site. Uh-oh. Well, he's wounded. It's my job to protect him, so I will be just moving north. We can actually see that he's the west vehicle danger, enemy detected. When my buddy here saw the jet, he actually got triggered into a sort of a hiding mode as well. But he's, as you can see by the waypoints, moving south according to the to his business here. So on my end, I'll be moving north to attempt to delay the enemy forces that are coming in. And like I said, I'm not actually invulnerable here, so I need to keep my head on a bit of a swivel. Red flare up front, that is part of the task hunt script. These guys are moving. They don't know where I am as such, but they do have impetus to move in this general area. Task hunt waypoint works by spotting any playable units within the AO, and we could see that there was quite a large zone, I should say the completion radius, and will actually move towards them. They don't have magic knowledge as such, so they'll move within a sort of large radius, but it is a way to set up scenarios like this in a quick and easy manner. Generally don't play in third person, but when you want to demonstrate things, it is sometimes an easy way to do so. Oh, the glories that is Arma animations. My resources are limited. I have my service rifle, night vision gear, 3 magazines, a couple of smoke grenades, and my sidearm. Most likely, I don't want to be engaging in a full-on firefight here. The key difference between vanilla and the danger FSM is that on the first contact the enemy makes, they'll have a period of reorganization, and well, as you can see by the map markers there, they're actually moving straight towards me. Only the group leader is being tracked on the map like this, and strictly just for debugging purposes. Had this been a live mission, I wouldn't have had any information like that floating about. Movement. I can wait for a perfect time, but I think I'm just gonna do that just to get this started. We can see that there's a number of debug things all of them reacted individually at this time, which, well, there you go, leader action, contact. Now the leader has declared a contact, he has communicated to nearby groups what's happening, and, well, I actually managed to kill somebody, it says here, so they're investigating his dead body. We can see from the map there's a bunch of stuff happening at once. So the leader's sort of reaction time was quite considerable. This is one reason for that is because I didn't kill the group leader on the initial entry. I actually just killed a squatty, and that didn't give me any sort of command time. In either case, it would have been fairly quick, because on noticing that they lost a guy, that would probably have Shit, this is not good. They would have just assigned a new leader, and he would have triggered the whole thing. Sparks being thrown out is just a smaller version of Joko's fantastic hit effect mod. Just a smaller tweaked one without all of the larger effects. It's part of it's an internal mod just to get some more feedback from firing your weapons and such. As you can see, I am trying to relocate, and I have been spotted. Again, the blurriness on the screen, that's the suppression effect mod by Laxmann and Joko. Pretty much essential for any sort of group play in Arma, in my opinion. Don't really have the ammunition to burn here, but my terrain doesn't really permit me to. Right. Oh shit! I'm fucked. Wow. Rip me. But my buddy always made it to the escape marker. Let's go into the spectator mode and have a look at what sort of happened here. These guys are actually, they're putting some fire down on the helicopter wreck and my previous location. They obviously moved up to check it, and well, they're moving around here. If we look at some of the debug information, we can see the sort of pattern of combat. A lot of stuff happened here at once. You can barely see the reaction. A dead body spotted. Here we go. Managed to kill somebody on my first thing with a machine gun. I was lucky there. A few moments later, the leader action, he essentially declares contact. They're in a contact situation. He would have transmitted my location to known enemy groups in the area. This might be one of the reasons why these guys are a bit spread out, even if they're just walking calmly like that. Same for the other group, and you can see bullet close, investigating, dead body, leader assess, leader assess, leader assess. Around every 30 seconds, the leader will assess his current situation. In this case, bullet close and fire just indicates what type of impetus that triggered that event. In the leader's assessment state, he would have been looking to see if are there tanks nearby, enemy threats, enemy aircraft, is the enemy hiding inside buildings, am I near buildings? He's doing those sort of assessments and will institute actions based on those responses. For units that do not want, or for groups that don't need that sort of advanced actions, it's actually possible to disable that by danger AI and setting a string to disabled. That will also be the interface which will expand on this, so it will be possible to set up more sort of stupid rushing ahead militia type behavior, or even I might look into making sort of insurgent behavior, where they'll assess where the enemy is compared to them, and if there's a building nearby, they might stash their weapon and try to get away like that, returning only when it's done. Those are things I'm investigating in the future, and it indicates how powerful this framework potentially is, and we'll see how this develops. There's interest here, and I'm definitely not alone in wanting to make this a good and powerful feature. These guys are standing around. I guess to a certain extent I help my buddy. We can see that one of these attackers is on his way to to get him. I'm gonna end the scenario for this time around and go back to the editor. Could have played through it, but that would have kind of defeated the point for now. There has been some requests to make some scenario design and flow videos. I'll look into that in the future. For now, I'm focusing on the danger FSM and what you're seeing right here. So here you have it, a very simple scenario. A single guy on a move waypoint. There's a special script which says he's wounded, he's hit like that. I put his Glock in his backpack so he doesn't have it in his hands. It's really about it. Both of these units are playable, so conceivably this could have been a multiplayer scenario where the overall objective was to move down south and get in here. He has just basically on a move waypoint. Once he gets here, I use the task garrison, which means that he would have found a spot here and try to hide inside this building. Actually, he would try to reinforce inside this building, but I guess with all players, that wouldn't really have been necessary. These guys on their guard waypoints, or actually I should say task hunt waypoints, would actually have moved south, and because it's within their AO, and they actually moved inside and caused trouble had it come to that. So final words. Here's an example of that scenario. Could have engaged it, made it more aggressive? Yes, easily. One way is just go to the task hunt waypoint and set it to task rush. In this case, the initial movement from this group would have been slow, but these guys on reaching these waypoints would have turned into significantly faster, significantly quicker moving units. You could easily have just picked a likely town like here, and let's get some insurgents in a let's just get a truck like that. Setting up just using vanilla guard waypoints like this. I would have set them to safe though. This unit will respond to requests from support. This is vanilla behavior, nothing special from me, but also easily a powerful way of doing that. Perhaps another thing, if we want to sort of escalate this even further, this one within the danger FSM waypoints. Says a AA threat here, but I didn't put one down because it wasn't mission essential as such. But perhaps this would have been rebuilt to be a more potent base of operations. You might have wanted to set down some additional support. Let's get up Podnos and just use the register artillery like that. Single waypoint like that on a mortar. That mortar would now have been able to provide support to these 3 squads, or actually 4 squads, as they were moving in. And in that leadership assessment phases that you saw as the squad was moving in, it would have read the terrain, read the situation. Am I too close to the enemy? Is the enemy an interesting enough target? That might have caused it to call in artillery. And in fact, for version 1.4 of the danger FSM, the artillery script has been rewritten based on some feedback and suggestions, which makes it a much more interesting threat. It's not going to be just finding you and pummeling you immediately. But that's for a different time and a different video. I think I've covered most of the stuff I want to talk about here right now. So thank you for watching. As if